Hello, I am Lacey Wester of Team Aquarius. I am the Aquarius Sun. And I and Mary have been teaching a series called WTF is Astrology. We both think that it is super useful to know and understand astrology. So we give free monthly classes, which you can find if you follow us on our socials. Usually we'll post it. Hey, get your tickets. And the tickets are free. You buy them only because we use Eventbrite, and that's just how that action works. But it's free, and you can come and watch us talk. And you can ask questions too when you attend our little free Zoom classes on WTF is Astrology. Today I was going to be talking about houses, which is a portion of astrology. It's a big portion of astrology. So we're going to go through the houses today, and I will be making a series. So maybe next time will be signs, then it'll be planets, hopefully in bite-sized little pieces so that you can digest the huge concept that is astrology, because it is a big concept. Okay. And now I'm gonna share my screen so you can see what I mean. All right. And actually, what I want to do first is I want to, I have to escape out of this first. Sorry, I'm looking at my screens and I'm trying to share them. And I just deleted the screens that were on the back. Okay, cool. Perfection years. There we go. I'm going to start with perfection years first, just so that you can see really how the houses kind of operate. They're going to operate in a spiral. All right, boom. Share this screen. All right. So if you Google annual perfection years, this is what you get. And there's like a whole bunch of them. I chose this one because it's pink. Thank you, InStyle people, for making that, whoever made this. All right. I'm going to see if I can't zoom in on this houses thing here. So I'm doing this on YouTube. You might be listening to this on my podcast too, because I think we're going to put it up on the Astromanics podcast. I will share sexy little tidbits as I think of them, but right now. All right. So this is the wheel. On the inside of this wheel, you'll see the THs. So the first house is ASC. That's the AC. That's the rising sign. And then we have the second house, third house, fourth, and so on in a wheel all the way up to 12. Now, you'll notice that there are other numbers in these little slices here that kind of echo out from that first wheel here. So we have the words AC, that tells us rising sign. We have the number 0 because this represents 0 to 1 year old. This is pre-1 year, first year of life. So the way that you can think about a wheel is you're born, right? And then you keep growing from there, right? And it goes around and around the wheel, right? So the first house is 0 years old. You're fresh out of the house. You're out of the house, out of the womb, right? You're fresh out. You're a newborn baby. So first house is all babies. So I am now showing on my YouTube pictures of babies firstborn, babies fresh up out the womb. When you think about a baby, when they're first born, things are kind of happening to them. And it's like, whoa, all kind of stuff's happening to me right now. And they're really adorable. Yeah, babies, right? Fresh out the womb. They sleep a lot. You'll notice all these babies sleeping. They will cry, right? They are babies. They don't know what's up. You didn't know it was up when you were first born. So when you think about what a baby is learning in the first year here, right? A baby is learning how to cry. A baby is learning that, oh, when I cry, people come to me, hopefully. And when I smile, people pay more attention to me, right? It's all about you, your ego. And that is what the AC represents, right? People who are looking at you will also start to notice your little personality coming out in that first year, especially people close to you, mom, dad, right? Or mom, dad, whatever it is, right? Whoever loves you will be noticing you and picking up on all your beautiful subtleties. That is 0 years old. The second house is our, and actually what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you this here. The second house here, I'm trying to show you another thing. All right. The second house here is resources, values, and your ethics, right? When I have now learned that when I cry, people come to me. When I smile, people pay attention to me. When I cry, people will feed me, right? Like you're learning basic stuff, right? Your resources. What can you ask for outside of your, what do you have around you? Do you have a blanket around you? That's a resource. That's a resource of warmth, right? And it's just there, right? It's not something that you did, worked for, anything. It's just there, right? So when you think of 1-year-old, you're thinking of toddler, you're learning how to crawl, right? You're learning how to sit up. You're learning how to cheesy smile. I'm showing pictures of toddlers on the YouTube, right? 1-year-old, right? All these babies, you're learning so much, right? Absorbing so much at 1-year-old. And then we're going to go around the wheel again to the third house, second house. And this is going to be siblings, right? Actually, sorry, the first one here, siblings. Look, who else is here other than me now? I know that I exist, or at least I'm here, right? There's a tangible thing here. I cry, I hold hands, right? I have my resources, my blanket, I'm warm, I'm sleeping. You're learning those things. And then the third house is siblings, right? And early childhood education, more than me. It's not just me, right? That is something that you're learning with the third house. And so then you're learning how to communicate. You're learning your older brother is a genius. That's what I thought. You're learning that, you're just learning about there's more than me. Who else do I operate with who is around me all the time? And then after that, you have the fourth house. The fourth house here, right? 3 years old, and you're learning about roots, family, home, and foundations, right? Here. So first house, right? My ego, who I am. Second house, my resources. My voice is my resource. My hands are my resource. I can grab things. Third house is, oh, I also have, not only do I have resources, but I have siblings, other people outside of me, or people who I'm around day to day. Maybe it's a daycare provider, right? That could be also that small learning community. Fourth house is roots, family, home, security, roots, family, home, foundations. That is grandparents. Who are my grandparents? Where do I come from? Where's my roots, right? What is the history, the lineage of me? And then we have, after the roots, family, and foundations, we have the fifth house, which is Leo. How do I express myself, my personality, right? You're starting to express your personality. I'm showing pictures of like young kids who are making faces and they have their mouth open, right? And they're being like funny and they're painting and they're being creative, things like that, right? That is fifth house. And let's go back to here. So from first house to fourth house, that is mostly about like ego. The person is aware of themselves. They'll have people have personal planets here, which we'll talk about in the future. Will have an acute awareness of their siblings, their situation with their siblings. They'll have an acute awareness of young childhood education, right? An acute interest in history, family, an acute interest in what they can do and where their resources come from. For let's see, fifth house to seventh house, or really it's like fourth house, seventh house. This is who I am inside of my family in relation to those who I'm around often in my family. They tend to be more like, I want to please my family type people. And sixth house is day-to-day routines, right? So we talked about fifth house, I'm expressing myself, I'm being joyful. Sixth house is my everyday routines. Do I have chronic diseases every day? Sometimes planets up here can show that. Will I experience them in my life? Sixth house is also, you're thinking of going to school right now, right? Imperfection years here. Sixth house has age 5. This is people starting kindergarten, right? We're starting that bigger school now, right? What is my daily routine? What am I learning every day? What's practical use every day? What do I have to tangibly know every day? Virgo is also Mercury ruled. So we have Mercury there teaching us how to read, write, make plans, right? Process things is part of what that is showing us. And then we have seventh house. And what I have going on up here. So from here, this is the DC line, right? So from here, seventh house to 12th house is us interacting with other people, is people outside of ourselves, people outside of our immediate family, people outside of our, daily routines, people who don't need to know about our health every day, right? This is here. This is where we meet other people. This is where we are going to get married, right? This is where we're going to learn how to flirt with others, right? This is where we're going to talk thinking about commitments and committed partners. This is where we are going to start experiencing the meaning of it all, right? Merging. We're going to start experiencing college, higher education, religion, things like that, right? So this seventh house has to do with contracts and people who are around daily. Eighth house is merge. Who do we share finances with, right? Who do we decide to share finances with? Ninth house has to do with things that govern us. Okay, well, what binds me to these contracts? Well, the things that govern us. This is law, religion governs us in this way. Higher education, right? Teaching ourselves more things, college-y stuffs. Capricorn is our legacy, right? The career legacy, another part of our outer experience. What do I do? What do I have authority in? What was I taught growing up? Climbing the ladder, right? All that stuff, ascending. We're learning about hierarchy. What do I need to do to have authority in this life to, speak and people listen to me? And then we have the 11th house, which is community, networking, friends, right? We've got community here. I have pictures of community. This is a variation of people. This is people outside of our day-to-day. This is how the world sees us. This is part of our outlook on the world, right? We're talking global. What is the perspective here? So, people coming together in your community, who's your chosen community, who do you find yourself around? Do they agree with you? And then we have the 12th house, which tends to be a very, very spiritual house here, right? And so I have a screen pulled up where lots of spiritual practices, right? What does it all mean? Where do we go when we die? Can we even look at it, right? It's a place where we will undo ourselves in order to give back to community. It's a place where we will undo ourselves for our spiritual life. It is a place where we give back. It is a place where it's also the place of giving back or holding on to, maybe keeping ourselves prisoner because we're not giving back or letting go, right? So these are the houses here, and this is what they mean. It is growth. It is age, right? And then we keep going around that wheel, right? So and then on the annual perfections year, right? We start the cycle again. So we were 0 years old in our AC. We grow and grow and grow and learn about these different areas of life that I just talked about. And then it starts over again. 12 years old, we start again at the AC. I always get this confused because I always think of 12th house and then 13 starts again, but it's not true. 12 years old, we restart again. We go through another ego. time, right? We're entering, most of us, into you're going out of early childhood education and elementary school, and now we're 12 years old and we're going into middle school, right? We're going to junior high and we're learning about those things there, right? Who am I now here in this space now that I'm a youngin', right? And then 13 years old, right? We'll be in a second house here, 14, 15, and then the circle just goes around again and again, right? Think about when you are 16 years old, that's a fifth house perfection year. That is you learning how to flirt. That is you, most people starting to get more and more interested in sex and sexuality, right? Flirting, right? Learning how to do that. 17, interesting, daily routines. Maybe you have a boyfriend here, right? A lot of people will have that. 18, we're making the decision to get married or not. That is typically and historically what's been up at this age, right? So interesting. 19, if you're merged or you're deciding to go to college and things like that, right? Okay, so those are the houses and those are the areas of life. And then we keep going around the wheel and we discover things more and more about ourselves. So just to go over again, the houses here. From the AC to DC, this is all subterranean. These are things that are going on below the surface, things that the native, the person who's a part of the chart, is aware of. And then up here, DC back over to AC above the horizon. This is where other people will see us. This is a part of how they will see us, right? This is kind of who we know we are below. And this is how that manifests. This is other people and how they see us. And so the different planets and things like that will be in the different houses and the different signs. And that is gives us more intimate details of the person and how to know more about the person. So that is houses in a nutshell. And now I'm gonna move on to probably signs. We'll do signs next. Thank you so much.